Premium quality football shirts at an extremely affordable price. Sound good? If so, check out the sponsor of today's video, jerseyfifa.com. You can see that I've sent you some shirts and they really are top quality, so make sure to click the link in the description to go find a shirt for yourself or perhaps as a gift for someone else. And you can now use code jerseyfifa at checkout for 10% off your order. That's code jerseyfifa at checkout for 10% off your order. I really do recommend their product, so go take a look. Now let's get into the analysis. So I done a video a couple of weeks ago looking at Arsenal, looking at Arteta and looking at the tactics that he used last season. And one of the main points I wanted to make was that I thought they had a pretty good season and they certainly improved. Regardless of that progress, Arsenal did fall at the final hurdle with a few poor results towards the end of the season, seeing them miss out on a spot in the top 4 and a Champions League place next season, so they still need to grow further. One way that Arsenal can improve is by dipping into the transfer market and bringing a few new players into the club to really improve the level of ability in the first team. So today we're going to look at 2 players they should sign. First of all, we need to figure out what positions need upgrading the most, and for me, Arsenal need an upgrade on Granit Xhaka to play alongside Partey, whilst they also need a more prolific goal scoring striker to lead the line. So we'll start off with the midfielder, and the player that Arsenal have been linked to the most is Youri Tielemans, and personally I think this would be a really good move, both for Arsenal as a football club and for Tielemans as a player looking to take the next step. On face value, it does look like Tielemans could slot into the team quite effortlessly, because he is used to playing on the left hand side of a midfield too, and this is exactly what Arsenal need, so I think it could be a natural fit. One of the reasons that Tielemans is so suited to this position is because of his ability to drop towards his own defensive third to help his side play out from the back, and his technical ability does make him quite press resistant in these deeper areas. Having helped his team to get out of the press, Tielemans is then excellent at progressing the ball forward, especially with his long passing, and he has an excellent ability to pick the ball up deep before then spreading the play with these long passes. This could be perfect for Arsenal because we know that they like to turn defence into attack quite quickly, so Tielemans' ability to bring the wingers into the game could make Arsenal a bit of an attacking beast, especially on the transition. As well as spreading the play out wide, Tielemans is also very capable of progressing the play with passes through the lines, and again this is something that Arsenal need, someone that is able to progress the ball forward with these incisive passes. As well as progressing the play with passing, Tielemans does also have another way of breaking opposition lines as well, because he is an excellent ball carrier, using his strength to protect the ball and carry the play through the thirds. This is an area where Xhaka has struggled to a certain extent. As the season has progressed, he's been given more of an attacking role, but at times he has lacked that progressing ability, so therefore I feel as though Tielemans would be an upgrade. As well as being an upgrade in terms of ball progression, Tielemans would also be an upgrade on Xhaka in the final third as well, and whilst it isn't necessarily his strength, he does have an element of creativity to his game in the final third. This is what we can see when we look at his FB ref as well, as he ranks in the 85th percentile for shot creating actions, and also in the 87th percentile for non-penalty expected goals and assists, showing his attacking contribution. The best thing about this transfer is that it should be reasonably affordable. In the past, Tielemans would have cost upwards of £60 million, but he now only has 1 year left on his contract, so could be signed for a much smaller fee. That is one of the many reasons why I think that Tielemans would be such a good signing for Arsenal. Xhaka has done well over the past year or so, but Tielemans is an upgrade in almost every aspect, and he'd bring that extra quality to the team. As I was saying at the start of the video, the other area that needs an upgrade is up front. Lacazette done well last season, but he didn't score enough goals and has now left the club, so Arsenal need to find themselves a goal scorer. One player that has been heavily linked since the transfer window opened is Gabriel Jesus, so I just want to start by talking about what he would bring to the team, because I do think that it would be a pretty good signing for the club to make. One thing that Jesus would bring is plenty of versatility, and working under Guardiola has turned Jesus into a player that can play multiple positions across the front line, and that could work quite nicely in Arteta's free-flowing attack. Something else that Jesus would bring is a bit of a winning mentality and also just experience of playing in big games. And whilst he is still quite young, he does already have a lot of experience of playing these big games, which Arsenal need. From a technical point of view, Jesus would look like a good fit as well. You don't play under Pep Guardiola for several seasons unless you are technically proficient, so I think there is a reason to believe he could do that job of dropping deeper. Having dropped deep, I do think that Jesus would be quite good at linking the play, although I'm not sure he would really create chances for others. He can be quite creative from wide areas, but I'm not sure the same can be said when he plays central.
I'm also not too sure that Jesus is the goal scorer that Arsenal are crying out for. Again, he has scored a decent amount of goals for Manchester City, but he has never really looked like a true number 9, and has regularly underperformed on the XG model. Overall, I do think that Gabriel Jesus would be a pretty decent signing for Arsenal, for some of the reasons that we've discussed, but I'm just not convinced he is that goal scorer that this Arsenal team so desperately needs to lead the line. This is the exact reason why I think Scamacca should be brought into the club. He is perhaps a slightly lesser known option, but I do think that he would bring a lot to this Arsenal team and really address some of the issues that they currently have. So, being less well known, I do just want to give you guys a bit of a profile. He is of course Italian and has been getting a decent amount of game time for his national side in recent weeks, while the 23-year-old has also been crucial to Sassuolo. So, standing at about 6'5", you might expect Scamacca to be a striker that stays up front and doesn't get involved, but that is not the case at all, because Scamacca is a player that actually really enjoys dropping into these deeper areas. Having dropped into these deeper areas, the big centre forward is extremely technically gifted, and he is actually a bit of an anomaly in the sense of being so tall and so powerful, whilst also having a lot of technical ability with the ball at his feet. At times things can't be quite as aesthetically pleasing, and there are situations when a striker needs to show a little more muscle to hold the ball up, but again Scamacca ticks that box and is excellent at using his body to protect the ball. In this sense, Scamacca is what I would describe as an abrasive striker. Some players these days don't enjoy this side of the game, but the Italian is a player that is more than happy to do the scrappy, physical side of the game. So I think that is probably the first big box ticked for Scamacca and at Arsenal. Arsenal need a striker that can drop deep to link the play in the midfield, and Scamacca certainly has the physical and the technical attributes to play in that exact way. Perhaps slightly surprisingly, Scamacca is actually a major goal threat, even from these deeper areas, so dropping deep to link the play would suit him so well, because of his ability to turn on the ball before then thundering shots in a goal. Scamacca's ability to strike the ball in these situations is really quite frightening at times. The contact he makes can be so clean, and as I said, it leads to some real thunderous efforts, making him a threat from anywhere on the pitch. As a result of his regular clean connections, the young Italian is a very good finisher, and has developed into a well-established goalscorer, and this is exactly why I think he might be a better option for Arsenal than Gabriel Jesus. His good finishing is also backed up when we look at his stats from this season, where we can see that he scored 16 goals in the league, outperforming his expected goals by roughly 4.7, showing that he is often a clinical finisher. My favourite thing about Scamacca in terms of goal scoring is that he doesn't need much room at all, and this could be huge for him making the move into the Premier League. Give him half a yard of space and he will get the shot off 9 times out of 10. This is something that makes Scamacca really unique as a player, and it's why I'm so fascinated by him. And there are times that he is able to get a shot off in situations when it doesn't look like it should be possible. There is really a lot to like about him. For all of the positives, there are obviously negatives as well, as there is with pretty much every player, and while Scamacca does have a lot of promise, there can be patches in games or even seasons where he just seems to fade away a little bit. That would obviously be a concern for Arsenal fans, but I don't think it's too much of an issue because Scamacca is still learning the game, and I do think he will improve quite a lot, especially under Arteta, who has improved most forwards that he has worked with. This is why it looks like such a logical move to me. I am sure that Arteta could help Scamacca develop as a forward, whilst I am certain that Scamacca would improve this Arsenal team. It just seems to make perfect sense when you look at it. I'd say the same for the Tielemans transfer that I was discussing during the first half of the video as well. I think Tielemans could come into the team, straight into the starting 11, and instantly improve Arsenal's ability on the ball in the midfield. For Scamacca, I do think the transition would take a little bit longer as he adapts to the new league, but I do genuinely believe he could develop into one of the best strikers in Europe, so it's a signing that I would certainly make. But I want to hear your thoughts. Who should Arsenal sign? Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.